Alright, Gael, we're going to look at your backstroke now from a side view. Strong underwaters. I want you to notice here that you start your backstroke pull while you're still in the process of doing your dolphin kick. You're still finishing that last dolphin kick and your arm is already started, which means that by the time you get your arm to your shoulder, until your arm gets out of the water, your legs are still and useless. Also, we see your head lifting up, same issue we've seen before. This line, which is creating drag for the water to hit. Ideally, we want the toes to be up at the surface and the hips to be up at the surface when the head clears the surface. Something that will help this is if you finish your last upbeat dolphin kick and start a flutter kick before you start your hand pull. That'll help keep your body more stable as you start the pull and keep you from lifting up. The flutter kick will also help you reach closer to the surface before you start your arm pull. I go ahead and play this. I just want you to notice how deep your kick is, how much your knee bends. When your foot is dropped that deep below your hip, then it is also catching drag forces under the water. So a narrow kick would be very beneficial there. And the last thing I want to touch on here, because your catches and your pull all look really strong, and this is why backstroke is your best stroke. But I want to show you that the timing is just slightly off. If I can get to a clear view here. You're finishing your stroke with the hip down, which is causing a delay getting your arm out of the water. So just a slightly earlier timed hip rotation in the pull would be helpful for boosting your arm out of the water. We talked about that timing issue while you were here. So hopefully you can see it a little bit more clearly now that after your arm is finishing the pull, then you're wasting a lot of time not pushing any water and just rotating in the water. And again, if you notice how far apart your feet are, even sometimes when I'm watching this, I can see there's distance between your knees because of that. And I'm also noticing that every single time that you are stretching back on one side, the kick pauses. You get a really good steady kick when your right arm's entering the water, and then the hip discrepancy when your left arm hits the water is causing a pause in your kick. So I'll just let you watch the whole video. Again, we want to see a transition flutter kick before we start the pull, so our hips and our feet come up to the surface at the same time. That'll help us start with better balance. And I wanted you to see that you're kicking, 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 kicking. There's a pause. Kicking, 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 kicking. There's the pause. Every time your right arm goes in the water, because of that time that we're just rotating, we're seeing a pause in the kick. So keeping your hips closer to the surface and rotating a little bit earlier will help you keep a more consistent kick. I hope this helps.